Sorry we missed you yesterday. I logged in and I was like, wait, man, like I'm an hour late. How is this possible?
No, well, there's these big giant oceans and time between us, and it sort of just fucks everything up for everyone. So we're here now.
Yeah. Yeah, we're good. We're good,
And
man.
and speaking of oceans, you're going to be crossing them in like a couple of weeks to come and visit us. How's that feeling?
Dude, we leave Monday and it's insane because I feel like it's just kind of Murphy's Law, you know? So outside of the band, I'll produce and mix records.
Yep.
And it's just, I mean, without a doubt, I mean, if you're going to leave for a tour and you let people know ahead of time, it's like, hey, man, I just found out about this tour. It's finally confirmed. I'm going to be gone for this month. And you give them like, 3, 4, 5 months notice, right? And then, yeah, cool. No problem, man. Like we get it, and then, the week before you leave, oh man, hey, can I get like instrumental mixes of the entire album, And it's like, and then you got 3 artists saying that, or like, we need backing tracks. Can you do this? And it's just, insane amount of just last minute requests. And meanwhile, I'm trying to like learn a bunch of songs and, do everything I need to do. So it's just been absolutely crazy. My wife is just like, oh, you're like already gone and on tour, but you're still at home. I'm like, I know, but I just got to get the stuff done. It's just what you got to do.
It's funny that you've answered part of my next question, which was the band isn't super active these days. So what does everyone do when they're not doing their band stuff?
Right. Yeah. No. So yeah, I mean, most of us kind of have like more successful careers outside of the band.
Yeah.
So I'm, mixing and producing albums and even writing with other people, year round. Chris, our bassist, is a super accomplished cinematographer and photographer. And Phil, obviously, with his career with As Lay Dying.
Mm-hmm.
And then Anthony, obviously, with his solo career and all of his other bands. So, I mean, we're all just kind of like, it's kind of, it puts us in a really interesting spot, because I feel like a lot of bands, even through, and I felt so terrible like throughout the entire kind of like COVID non-able to tour and travel era where, so many bands just kind of lost their livelihood, and I do think it's maybe like another interesting topic of conversation to talk about maybe at a different time where, I feel like over the last 10 years or so, we started to see so many bands say, like, we don't care if you download our music, or like F the labels, we rely on touring and that's how you can support us. Right. And then it was so interesting during this shift of artists not being able to tour that all of a sudden I think people started realizing like, oh crap, like I think we might want to have some of that income for the music, right? So it was really interesting seeing, like the livelihood just, the rug pulled out from so many bands that rely on touring. But thankfully for us, we don't rely on it at all. And for us, it's almost like the band is a passion project and just an area of our lives where we just go out to get, and we do it because we love it and because it's fun, and we don't have to kind of, there definitely was a period of time in our careers in the beginning where it was like, all right, well, we got to be on tour 11 months out of the year. That's just what we got to do. We got to pound it. Right. But now it's just kind of like, well, if the tour's not going to be fun, then I'd rather just stay at home with our families or our pets or whatever, or like continue doing our careers that we all like really love doing. So that's kind of how we look at it now. If the experience is not going to be a positive, fun experience that we're all 100% excited about doing it, then we just don't do it. And
it's like your vacation band now.
We totally are. Yeah. I mean, it's like we work our regular, jobs, which is kind of funny because it's like, I don't look at my job like it's an actual job. I like get to, and I guess that's maybe something that might affect um my um withdrawal of Saosin, I guess, you know, like I feel like if I didn't have such an amazing creative outlet outside of the band, I would probably be more like, guys, come on, we got to do it. We got to do it. We got to do it. You know, but most of the time I'm so fulfilled by being a part of other artists' albums that it's not a thing where it's like, guys, we got to go tour. We got to do some more stuff. So, but I guess it's kind of nice because it really puts us in check to where, you know, I mean, our whole career, we've always tried to only do music, you know, when it's appropriate or when we all really want to, and it's the right time, it feels like. So we're just kind of continuing on with that. And it feels nice and it feels sincere and it feels honest. And it doesn't feel like we're just kind of, well, we have to do this tour so we can pay our rent, you know, and like, and I mean, I know that there are artists like that, and I sympathize with them, you know.
Yeah, it's funny you talked about how pandemic took away the touring livelihood, and I just thought about it then. So you had the period where you had your Lars doing "We Hate Napster, You Can't Steal Our Music,"
Yeah,
and then it went to "Take Our Music Any Way You Can," and then the pandemic hit, and it changed to "Subscribe to our Patreon."
dude, exactly, right?
Yeah,
You know, and then now you're starting to see it again too, because you know, I mean, it's just so funny, you know, like how the world works as you kind of like observe, you know, and like, you know, at first you started, you know, in the pandemic, you started seeing a lot of like the venues, you know, saying like, hey man, like donate to our venue to keep our doors open through the thing. And it's like all the artists were kind of like, screw you, dude, you were taking 25% of our merch like every time we played there, you know. And it's like, and now, you know, like you've seen a couple artists kind of coming out being like, dude, it's crazy, like now they're gouging us even harder, you know. And it's just, it's a really interesting thing to see.
Now I need to ask a personal question. You've worked with
Okay.
Butch Walker, who
Yeah.
is one of my all-time production and writing idols. I think the guy is like a Midas touch. What was that
Same. For me, it was a dream come true because I feel the same way. Like I don't know how far back you follow his career,
South
but
Gang.
like, okay, so you're farther back than me then, because I started Marvelous 3.
Yep.
So like, but like, man, like during the original days of, I mean, like I have a demo, one of my original demos that I wrote for Saosin, and it's like a total Marvelous 3 ripoff, you know, like, and then like on top of that, you know, like his just like sense of humor and kind of like disrespect for like corporate music, you know what I mean, is just so punk to me. And like, you know, like I don't know if you remember on his, I forget what album it is, but he starts the album off with like that vocal lesson thing, and it's like how to sing, you know. And it's like, just think, you'll never sing like this guy, and then it like starts the song with whoa, you know. And I was like, dude, that is so rad, you know. But yeah, working with him was absolutely awesome. You know, we got to rent this really amazing, like, I mean, I don't know if I would call it a mansion now, but like at that point in my life, it felt like it was a mansion, and it was up in Malibu Hills. It wasn't like the Morning View house, like the Incubus one. It was a different one. Okay. And it was this amazing, like 2-story, like 7-bedroom house where they converted the whole downstairs into 2 recording studios. And it was just like this amazing thing where like every day you would wake up and you were kind of like tucked up in the mountains a little bit, but you could see the beach. So it was this amazing experience where every morning you would just wake up and kind of like get to go in and jam on stuff. But then, you know, Butch would usually show up on either like his Harley or like his Range Rover or something, you know. And like, I just felt like it was so, he's just like such an inspiring guy because he's so just down to earth, but like so successful. You know what I mean? It's like one of those weird things where like, you know, like when you meet someone that you're just like, oh my gosh, you are so successful, but like you're just like me. And like, you know, maybe I'm like trying to save some money to like, because I'm like a ruthless, I'm very like excessive or either or. You know what I mean? Like I don't have an addictive personality at all, but I operate in extreme excess. Like for instance, this year I got like a wild idea that I was gonna like stop eating foods with added sugar,
Yep.
and then in January I just stopped, and it was like all or nothing, and I just had to cut out everything. And my wife is like, "Dude, why are you doing that? That's so crazy." I'm like, "But I can't just say I'm gonna cut back like 50%. I have to set a hard rule and just say no."
Hmm.
So like now I'm like drinking like zero alcohol right now, and I'm like doing no sugar. And I mean, like I look like a freaking stick figure, but I'm like trying to work out. And but it's just like, I for me, like with that kind of excessive personality, being able to kind of like ruthlessly cut things out of my life to be able to afford areas in my life that I will enjoy, and it's just, he's just like the type of guy that's like, dude, like no problem, like you don't want to go get sushi because you want to save some money, let's eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, no problem. He's just such a rad dude. And and on top of that, it's like he's like so amazingly good at guitar, and like he would just every once, and I would forget that, because like I don't know why, but I would just forget it, and we were just like hanging out, and then all of a sudden he would pick up the guitar, and it's just like those sick like 80s licks, it's just like and I was just like, oh my god, you're so good, just keep doing that, I want to watch.
Yeah,
So
we need a Marvelous 3 reunion, dude. Come on.
oh my god, well dude, if you talk to him, tell him that I volunteer to be rhythm guitarist in Marvelous 3 or backup singer, whatever needs to happen, whatever I will guitar tech for them, whatever. But
Look,
yeah, I agree.
I will play Triangle for free to see that. Oh, it'd be so good. All right,
Yeah,
so
man. That's so sick. It's really rare to meet like another huge Marvelous 3 fan or Butch Walker fan.
It's because, as you said, he doesn't give a shit. He does what he wants.
Yeah.
And it comes out in the music, and he knows that half the time he's taking the piss of himself.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter to him because he just wants to get the story out, and it doesn't matter if it's self-deprecating, if it's anything. And that's why I think, your Taylor Swifts and your Pinks and all of those work with him, because he doesn't walk in and go, "Oh, I'm Butch Walker and I'm working with this pop singer." He goes, "I'm Butch Walker, I'm a songwriter, let's do this."
Yeah, I also feel like he doesn't really, because like I like especially in and out of the band, I've met and kind of like done some work with a lot of like those popular kind of, your typical writers that people would work with.
Yeah.
And a lot of them just kind of seem to, okay, well, it's January right now, so let's just kind of look on Spotify and see what's popping, and we'll just kind of try to recreate that because we know that's going to be a safe bet. Whereas like in working with Butch, it was always like, we were never concerned with, I mean, like granted, I think that's more the motto of Saosin as well, and maybe that's why we got along so well, because it was like we weren't concerned with what was popular or what was cool. We were just trying to make songs that we liked, and I do think that that's something that comes across in a lot of Butch's stuff, as well as the artists he works with, where it's like when Butch does a big single for someone, it doesn't sound like the typical single that's currently popular. It always kind of has like a cool, like unique sound to it.
Yeah,
so
he's a hook within a hook guy for me.
Yeah, dude, there was actually, so on In Search of Solid Ground, on our second album, there's a song, I think it's called, I'm so bad with the working titles, I think it's called What We Were Made For. And when I wrote like the original demo for it, I took it to Butch and I was like, okay, Butch, like I think I'm stuck on the song, I kind of need you to help me with it, and I'm asking you because I ripped off one of your songs. And he was like, what song? And it was that song Freak of the Week.
Oh, I love that song.
And so it's like that song, it's like, and the melody was like that, and I was like, and that was like the main melody for like the verses. And then I was like, I hope you're not mad at me. I just started singing it and it's kind of stuck. So that's like the verse now. And I kind of ripped you off. And he was like, dude, no worries at all. I ripped off this other thing, and it was like some old like blues song. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like just that it's totally not precious about anything. And I don't know. Anyways, I could talk about him for hours. So don't
tell me about it.
Yeah.
We'll do it when you get here. So 20th anniversary of the band, first time touring in 13 years in Australia. Are you going to focus on a particular era while you're here for your sets?
I don't think so. Honestly, it's not really up to me. I'm learning like right now. Actually, after this, I'm going to be jumping on Twitch, and it's pretty cool. I go through and because like I was saying, I'm so busy doing other albums.
Yep.
And I know this is going to sound so strange for people that aren't in bands, right? Like I feel like people have this perception that like if I'm in a band, I literally walk around the house with my guitar on a strap and all I do is play Saosin songs all day long, right? But like I literally don't do that. And like unfortunately, like I haven't really picked up a guitar. Like if I'm mixing an album, I'm out here mixing all day. I'm not like taking a break to jam on guitar or like, as I probably should. But what I'm getting at is I just started rehearsing for the set. And thankfully, because we had some shows previously to this, I'm still very well rehearsed. But what I normally do is I'll go on Twitch and I'll just start playing the set through and, mistakes and all. And it's kind of funny because like I'll point out my mistakes and like I'll let people know that like, dude, like I'm showing you this right now because it takes a lot of work to like play perfectly at a concert. Like I think a lot of people take it for granted that it's just like, well, you're a professional, you should be perfect. But it's just like any other kind of sport, like you got to train and you got to, even just like the physical aspect of like, you can sit down and play guitar all day long, but then once you stand up, it's actually a different thing. So I practice all that stuff and show it on Twitch and I show the improvements, and it's kind of cool because chat will get involved, and if there's a part that I'm struggling with or I keep kind of forgetting a transition of some sort, when I finally get it, I'm like screaming in the mic like, yeah, I got it. So it's pretty exciting. But as far as like the eras and stuff, I think we've got like pretty much everything. Although I don't know if we have any songs off of In Search of Solid Ground right now. But that could change once we get to Australia because we're all rehearsing on our own right now. And then once we get to Australia, we have like a couple days of rehearsal in like a proper rehearsal space. So I think we'll probably work out the set then. But like I'm pretty much prepared to play like all of the self-titled album, like Translating the Name, Along the Shadow. Like, I'm pretty much rehearsed like in every song, almost the entire catalog, with the exception of some songs off of In Search of Solid Ground. But yeah, like I said, the set list is still kind of like up in the air and it's not totally up to me. So all I can do is kind of be as prepared as I can. And then if they say, yes, we were playing that, then I have to be prepared.
Sweet. And then just tell them we're doing Freak of the Week for Encore and we're done.
Dude, tell me about it, man. Like, hey guys, you guys go sit down. I'm going to play some of my own kind of cover jams right now.
Yep. Easy. I'll bring the triangle, man.
Yeah, dude, me and you, we'll be up there.
Yep. Sweet. All right, man. I'll let you go. I'll let you get on with your day and get ready, and we'll see you like next week.
Yeah, man. I'm so pumped, man. I'm stoked.
Awesome, man. Thanks for your time.
Hey, you too. Thank you.
See
Bye.
you, man. Bye.
The world is a vampire.
The Smashing Pumpkins are coming down under this April for their World is a Vampire Festival. With special guests, Jane's Addiction, Amel and the Sniffers, and more. Plus, professional wrestling, the NWA versus Australia's best. Tickets on sale now at oneworldentertainment.com.au. The Smashing Pumpkins World is a Vampire Festival. Get your tickets now.